ดีครับMabuhay.
Hello,
Hola.
Mabuhay.
Hi all the fans worldwide, especially Thai and Filipinos and all
Mhm.
definitely Latin as well. I got so excited indeed. I got a very stunning guest tonight. She is the face of Binibini 2021. She is my old friend. Okay, Patrizia
Mhm.
Garcia. Give her applause, please. First of all,
Hello, hello. Hi, good
okay.
evening, Colette. Good evening, everyone who are
Yeah.
watching our live show right now. I hope you are doing safe and doing well. Once again, my name is Pat Garcia, and I'm one of the candidates in Binibini Pilipinas 2021 pageant. And I am your face of Binibini. Thank you so much, Co, for having me tonight.
Oh, thank you indeed. Pat, I would love to say congratulations, a big congratulations to you that you reward as a face of Beanie Meeting 2021 and top 10 to the Beanie Meeting 2021. I'm so glad indeed because I used to interview you before, long before competing.
Yes.
So, I always wish that you would get, any reward, and you did. Okay, I'm so excited with your success. So, Pat, might you tell, especially Thai fans, would love to get to know you, a little bit of your background. How old are you, and what did you do before you joined pageantry, and how many times have you been joining? Uh huh.
Yes, I remember we had our interview last year during the break of the Binibini Pilipinas 2020 to 2021 season because, yes, pandemic came and the pageant was quite delayed, and I had so much fun during our interview that time. Now, to tell you a bit of a background about me, I'm 27 years old, and this is actually the second time that I joined Binibini Pilipinas pageant. My first one was last 2018, and luckily I'm very overwhelmed to be part of the top 10 and be given the award of the face of Binibini. So I am a psychology undergraduate, and currently I'm taking up my graduate studies in a university in the Philippines. It's in University of the Philippines, and it's in public administration, quite related to the work that I'm doing right now. As a profession, I am a policy and research officer at the House of Representatives of the Philippines. So I am a public servant. I work in the government. And as hobbies, I love to travel. I love going to beaches. That's why I noticed earlier, Ko, that you have a very, very nice background. And I know that Thailand and both Thailand and the Philippines do have a lot of nice beaches that people would want to explore and see. It's just that it's pandemic right now. That's why travel is very limited. So, once this pandemic will end, the first thing that I will do is really to go to the beach and, relax and show to the world how beautiful the beaches of the Philippines and Thailand are. I love going to the beaches. I'm also a sports enthusiast, so I love working out. I used to be a competitive swimmer. And yes, basically that's a bit of a background.
All right. Okay. So now Thai fans would get some info about you already, and as you know me and Filipino fans already know you. And Pat, would you mind to tell all the fans a little bit about your responsibility as face of Binibini 2021?
While the face of Binibini Award is very overwhelming, it's also called the Miss Photogenic. As of now, we don't have any activities that were told to me by the organization. But I think if there are activities that will be coming, they will just message me probably for food endorsements or some activities that I could participate on, especially with the advocacies and charity works that the Binibini Pilipinas will still be pushing forward after the coronation night.
That's right. That's right. So, I would probably go back a little bit to your latest contest. How did you feel? How do you feel when you already done it? Because it's paused quite a long time,
Mhm.
and then once it proceeds very quickly. Uh-huh. So,
Well,
how do you feel? Because especially during SS prelim, I watch you from from here in Thailand, and I watch you perform in swimming suit.
mhm.
How did you feel at that time?
It was very fulfilling and overwhelming because we have waited for a very long time before the coronation night really happened. And I was really just grateful that I was able to go through that journey. I've learned a lot, I've improved myself, I've discovered a lot of myself more. And I know that I was able to reach out to more people and be able to promote my advocacy, especially on mental health. But
Mm,
honestly, to tell you, after the pageant, of course, I felt a bit of sadness in there because I didn't, you know, will be able to represent the country internationally. But I just had it took me just like a few days, like a day or 2 to 3 days or probably a week to recover from that, and I was able to get up and do my routine even before the things that I was doing before the pageant, which is work.
right. So now, you go back to work full time as a public
Mhm.
administrator.
Yes.
Okay.
As a policy and research officer, the public
All right.
administration is it's a course that I am taking right now that is related to my profession. It's a graduate
Oh,
degree course, so I'm aiming to finish it probably in the midst of next year because I also quite had it lagged behind because of the activities of the pageant.
right. Would you mind if I just translate in Thai a little bit for Thai
Yeah,
fan?
sure,
Yeah.
sure. I hope
Okay.
I wasn't speaking so fast.
no it's okay คืออย่างนี้นะครับสำหรับแฟนคนไทยนะครับแพทริเซียเนี่ยเพื่อนโก้นะคือเขาน่ารักมากคือแพทริเซียเนี่ยอาชีพประจำของเขาเนี่ยคือเป็นข้าราชการนะครับฝ่ายวางแผนนโยบายนะของภาครัฐเนาะแล้วเขาจบเนี่ยปริญญาด้านจิตวิทยาคราวนี้เนี่ยหลังจากที่เขาได้ตำแหน่งเนาะ Face of Binibini เนี่ยแล้วก็ท็อป10เนี่ยคือตอนนี้เขาก็กลับไปทำงาน full time แล้วเขาก็เทคคอร์สแบบที่สูงขึ้นเนาะซึ่งกะว่าจะจบปีหน้านะครับแล้วเขาก็บอกว่าเขาอยากมาเที่ยวเมืองไทยมากนะคะแล้วเขาชอบทะเลนะแล้วก็อย่างข้างหลังก้นที่เป็นภูเก็ตเนาะเขาบอกว่าเหมือนปาราวันนะคะคราวนี้เนี่ยเขาชอบเมืองไทยมากๆเลยเขาอยากมาเที่ยวเมืองไทยนะแล้วแพทเขาเป็นคนน่ารักมากเป็นคนเฉลียวฉลาดเนาะเดี๋ยวมาฟังเขาต่อเขาน่ารักมากนะคะ Pat, and
Yes.
I forgot to ask you so many things to ask.
We have all the time for tonight. It's a Sunday. So
Right, I'm quite excited. And okay, a lot of people would love to know about your next plan. Would you still, wish to join the pageantry? I mean, for the next year, or you just stop here?
well, I actually, honestly, go, I haven't decided just yet. Well, because next year I'm 27 this year. So next year I'm turning 28. So in the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, I think there are about two crowns that I am still qualified to join. I'm just not very sure with Miss Grand International if 28 years old is a still qualifying age to join. Anyway, I am focused on my work right now, which is somehow interrelated with the goals that I have with in terms of joining pageantry. So I don't think it would hinder me it's something that would hinder me in joining again.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if the age limit would be expand, so you still wishing to join, I guess.
Why not? If there are a lot of opportunities that would be right there in front of me, so I'm not closing my doors.
All right. So quite a lot of people in Thailand just wonder how passionate Filipinas has been toward pageantry. Why they keep joining until winning. I mean, at the end of the time. Can you explain about the mindset of Filipinas of joining pageantry?
I don't think it's just the mindset of Filipinas in joining pageantry because Philippines has this culture of striving. into excellence. I mean, recently we just won a couple of medals in the Tokyo Olympics, and I think we made history because that's the most number of medals that our country won since we joined the Olympics, and we got our first gold. So, and a lot of Filipinos are striving for excellence, and we have this culture of doing good and being passionate in whatever we do. So I believe so that it's not just my desire in joining pageantry, but it's a culture that we show as Filipinos.
อือืม คืออย่างนี้ครับก็ถามแพทเนาะบอกว่าอยากจะให้เขาอธิบายนิดนึงว่าคนเราโดยเฉพาะคนไทยเนี่ยก็จะแปลกใจว่าผู้หญิงฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยคือจะประกวดจนแบบชีวิตจะหาแบบชีวิตจะหาไม่อะคือจนสุดๆเลยอะหรือว่าจากจะมงเนาะก็เลยถามว่าmindset นี่มาจากอะไรยังไงเขาบอกว่าคือมันก็ไม่เชิงเป็น mindset คือว่าฟิลิปปินส์เขามีความคิดที่ว่าเขาเนี่ยทำทุกอย่างเนี่ยเพื่อความเป็นเลิศนะมุ่งสู่ความเป็นเลิศพอคราวนี้เนี่ยมุ่งสู่ความเป็นเลิศความหมายก็คือต้องชนะหรือมงแล้วอย่างล่าสุดที่โอลิมปิกเนาะก็ปรากฏก็ได้ตั้ง4เหรียญ1เหรียญทองประวัติศาสตร์นะครับแล้วก็2เหรียญเงินนะ1เหรียญทองแดงเขาก็บอกว่าเนี่ยเป็นตัวอย่างที่ดีให้เห็นเลยว่าลักษณะของแบบลักษณะลึกๆของคนฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยนะโดยเฉพาะถ้าผู้หญิงก็คือประกวดนะก็คือเขาจะคิดอย่างนี้ว่าโอเคก็ประกวดได้ก็ประกวดไปสิใช่ไหมก็ประกวดจนกว่าจะมง yes I told all the fans according to you already, you know like striving for success I think for
Yes,
excellence
that's true.
yeah I think it's good it's really good
It's
and
something that I've also learned during this pandemic. You know, it's all about hard work, it's all about perseverance, it's all about passion. And
mm,
I'm happy that we are very united, our country is very united in terms of these activities. We celebrate it as a nation, like Olympics and pageantry, and in the
mm,
world of entertainment, that we still share the positive vibe amid this pandemic.
mm-hmm.
And
So
I believe it's also true for Thailand, right?
yeah, that's right. So I saw a lot of picture of you in your IG that you took it, you know, at the mid of the sea and on the boat on the yacht.
Mhm.
So I think that you took a long vacation, recently, isn't it?
Well, it's not really a vacation. Right after the pageant, I had a week rest and went to Cebu province. I fixed some business meetings there and for my personal business. And of course, I spent a weekend in the beach also just to unwind and relax. But after that, I went straight back to Manila to work.
Mm,
And yeah, basically that's
mm.
it.
Mm. So about the pandemic, how it would be like in Manila recently, about the COVID-19 situation. Would it be better?
Well, right now, I don't think we are in a really good state. Unfortunately, we are actually on our third day in enhanced community quarantine. So it's a stricter lockdown that was implemented by the government, and people are not allowed to go out, especially essential workers, those who are working in, say, for example, the health or telecommunications or bank industry or food industry. So people are encouraged to stay home and work from home as the government puts so much effort in terms of vaccinating everyone, especially in Manila. In Manila specifically, we are on enhanced community quarantine. This is actually our third time to be in that type of um, community quarantine since the start of the pandemic. And it's just
Mm,
sad because the cases are really going high, and
mm,
a lot of businesses are temporarily going to close, and it affects a lot in terms of employment and in our economy. So around, if I'm not mistaken, about 600,000 of workers in Metro Manila are affected by this lockdown, especially the transportation and the food and restaurant industries.
yes, that's correct. Uh-huh. So, like Thailand has been,
Mm-hmm.
locked down as well. I mean, the restaurant can't, don't allow customer to sit. Okay, but you can buy and take away only. For in Thailand, some rule implementation, and it's very good, Pat, to have you here because most of my guests sort of being working in the private sector, but you
Mm-hmm.
working in the public sector, so you
Yeah.
probably have quite different perspective. Okay, if I just ask you about the choice about vaccines that okay government chose for you and distribute to and be ready to distribute to people, but other group might contest that they prefer to have their own brand selection. So what would you say about this?
About people who are choosing
Yes, I mean,
for the
someone probably,
inoculation.
wouldn't disagree that government chose um, the vaccine for them. They probably would
Mhm.
seek vaccine for themselves, probably. So, what would you contest, in terms of your point of view as a public servant?
Well, as a public servant and as a citizen of this country, I think people would still have the right to choose their vaccines. It's just a matter of informing them and educating them that at this point, it's not really the best option. We have a lot of vaccine, and we cannot control the vaccines that we can procure abroad and the
Mm,
vaccines that are available in our local government units. So I
mm,
believe it's just really about educating people that no matter what brand of the vaccine there is available, we should have or take the opportunity to get it, because it's not
mm,
just the government's effort, it's also the people's initiative to do it, to help this pandemic at least, well, probably not come to an end, but at least open up our economy so that it won't affect much of livelihoods of the Filipino people.
mm. So, having better not having.
Yes, that's true. And all vaccines are shared risk and benefit. At first, honestly, when it was when the vaccines are just starting to come here in the Philippines, I personally had my preference of what vaccine to take. But
Mm,
when I realized how important it is, especially before the Binibini Pilipinas activity started, whatever
mm,
it is that's available there, we already took it, even my family. We also had some discussions and kind of a little arguments with my family whether they're going to take it as early as that time or not, because they wanted some specific brands. But at least we ended up taking it at the same time, because I'll be going in and out of the house, and it's not good to expose them to the virus. And I cannot live alone. So I still live with my family because my family is very traditional. That's why. So there, I hope that all those people who are still resistant in taking vaccine should be able to realize that this is the quickest solution for us to save lives and
mm,
our economy also.
mm,
Well,
mm,
to be honest, compared to before, I think generally Filipinos are now more willing to get inoculated. It's just the role of the government also to put a system on how they will be able to do it quickly or as fast as possible, especially
mm,
taking time or taking advantage of this lockdown period in terms
mm.
of having high numbers of inoculations per day.
Mm, 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 mm. I'm pretty much the same as you, Pat, because long previously, I tend to prefer some brand as well. But when in practicality, it wouldn't come. So I mean, whatever provided, in the market, especially certified by government, it should be
And
okay. I
just to share an experience, go when I came from Cebu, the Delta variant there in that province is very very high and very prevalent. And I was with a companion. my relative. And then when
Mm.
we flew back here, she had COVID apparently, but we were
Mhm.
together. So I took the test, the RT-PCR. I took my quarantine, but I tested negative because I'm vaccinated.
All right.
Mhm.
Mm,
It
mm,
really helps. It really helps. No
mm,
matter what type of vaccine it is, it would really save you. I tested positive also of COVID last April
mm.
before the Binibini activity started. I haven't been vaccinated that time. That's why I was also able to encourage my family to get
Mm.
vaccinated.
Mm. Mind you, I think it's very significant point here. I think it's very beneficial if Thai would, get some real example from you, right? Can I, take a little bit of time
Mhm.
to translate, okay? คืองี้นะครับสำหรับแฟนคนไทยนะครับก็คุยกับแพทเนาะคือแพทเขาบอกว่าเนี่ยเดี๋ยวยกตัวอย่างแบบว่าเนี่ยเลยเรื่องวัคซีนเนาะคือแต่ก่อนเนี่ยแพทเขาก็อยากได้ยี่ห้อบางยี่ห้อนี่แหละแต่คราวนี้มันไม่มาสักทีเนาะรัฐบาลเขามีอะ แอสตราให้อย่างเงี้ยแล้วก็เขาก็จะลงประกวดบินี่แล้วเขาก็เอาเถอะเทคไปใช่ไหมคะแล้วที่สำคัญก็คือมันชัดตรงที่ว่าเนี่ยพอกดเสร็จใช่ไหมแล้วเขาก็ไปไปทริปเนาะกับเพื่อนญาติอะไรประมาณอย่างเงี้ยเนาะไปคุยธุรกิจปรากฏว่าคนที่เขาไปด้วยเนี่ยปรากฏว่าติดโควิดอืม แล้วแพทตอนนั้นนะแพทเขาฉีดแล้วเพราะว่าแพทเขาประกวดบินี่ใช่ไหมต้องฉีดเขาฉีดเรียบร้อยปรากฏว่าพอเขากลับมาตรวจเนี่ยเขาเนกาทีฟไงเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยคืออันนี้ประสบการณ์ตรงของแพทเองอ่ะแพทเขาเลยบอกว่าฉีดเถอะนะก็คือถ้าสมมติน่ะมีวัคซีนให้ฉีดเนาะเราก็ฉีดไปก่อนเนาะโดยส่วนอันนี้ส่วนตัวแพทนะแล้วส่วนตัวก็ฉีดไปแล้วนะครับแอสตราเนาะฉีดเมื่อวานเนาะ แพทเขาก็ฉีดแอสตราเหมือนกันที่มะนิลาเพราะว่าบินี่เขาตามนี้เพราะฉะนั้นน่ะแพทก็เลยสนับสนุนว่าเออให้ฉีดวัคซีนกันอย่างน้อยอ่ะมากน้อยมันก็กันอยู่เพราะอย่างตัวแพทเขาไม่ติดไงแต่เขาทำงานใกล้ชิดกับคนที่เป็นเลยนะเพราะว่าคนที่เป็นเขาตรวจพบเจอไงเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยก็เป็นตัวอย่างที่สำคัญเลยก็เลยขออนุญาตแพทเขาแปลให้กับแฟนๆคนไทยนิดนึงเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยก็สนับสนุนให้ทุกคนมาฉีดเนาะ So at this time, Pat, Thailand has been, received a lot of vaccine from US, and
Mhm.
other countries. So now we just in a hurry. Okay, keep
Mhm.
injecting, keep injecting citizen.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But you know, Ko, I've been reading a lot about Thailand's health system. It's the usual model that I base on, especially in research. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, this is reality. Even if on the previous months or in the previous years, Thailand was able to contain the virus, but now we are experiencing a different wave. So I hope that this really highlights the importance of the inoculation of vaccine. But I would really um, commend the healthcare system of Thailand, especially the primary healthcare. It's
Mm-hmm.
really great in terms of caring for the rural areas of the country and everything about it. Actually, it's one of the nicest models that we have here in Southeast Asia. The
Mm-hmm.
information dissemination, the trust of the citizens to the government in terms of health protocol. That's why at the start of the pandemic, I know Thais were really following, the lockdown protocol of the government. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I did an accurate research about it.
I think after this episode, I think Pat, you can help encourage a lot of Thai, especially to be a step forward and take more vaccine. Okay, I think
I hope
because
so.
because your example is real. Okay, it's so real. And I just said, and people can relate that because it's just happened.
Mhm.
And also, we got quite a comment, Pat. And okay, so some comments said, "Oh, you beautiful Molena."
Oh, thank you. I love that they know the term morena. It's very Filipina.
Yes, actually, this lady is a Filipina.
Oh,
Elizabeth. Yes, she a Filipina Taiwanese, and she now living in Taiwanese, and she a very sticky fan of mine. Always supporting all the guests that visit my program. A true Molena
wow.
beauty,
Oh, thank
definitely.
you so
You
much.
always been cool, Pat. And also this from UK, Pat. This from UK. Hang on. It said like you are very
Wow, a lot
great
of
speaker.
international pageants.
You are a great speaker. I think. Hang on. I just stumbled by. It's from UK. Uh, hang on. It said that this lady, oh, she is a great speaker, and I am already liking her energy. How do you feel? This is, from the UK, from my
Oh,
fans
thank
in
you
the
so
UK.
much. I appreciate it. And wow, boy, you've been reaching all over the world in terms of pageant followers.
Yes, yes, I try. I try to penetrate
You're doing
all
really
all
well.
people. Oh, thank you indeed. I'm quite not sure if you follow me, Pat.
I'm sure it's not just because of me. It's because of you, how active you are and how you appreciate the industry.
I wish after the program you would follow my page, okay? My FB page, okay? All right? KP
Oh,
one more one.
in Facebook, because I'm following you on Instagram. I'm following you on Instagram. I am
Yeah.
not so active on Facebook. It's something that I should really work on.
Oh, really? You should, because I think
Mhm.
you can, reach out a lot of people. Just in
A lot
case
of people on
next year,
Facebook.
you probably be crowned, okay, in the contest. Okay.
In
Just
any
keep your
case, I'm not sure. But again, I'm not closing my doors.
okay, right, right, right.
Definitely.
Okay, right. So, what someone would like you someone would like to get advice from you, because I talk a lot about you, that you are a very strong woman, a very intelligent woman. In case of would you think that women nowadays got equal right as men?
Well, I believe we are not yet reaching to that point, but we are slowly getting there because a lot of women are standing up for what they believe in, and a lot of women actually excel in terms of leadership and in terms of sports. Actually, our one of the medals that we got in the Olympics is a first Filipina woman who won in boxing. So I believe that these societal problems have their own pace of being able to get out there, as long as more women are to be inspired to believe in themselves and that their voices can be heard. And I'm one of those advocates who can do that. And I can use my platform, even if I'm not in pageantry anymore, in public service, to inspire more women and fight for their rights in terms of equality.
Mm,
I believe we have a long way to go, but
mm,
little steps are still progress. So
mm,
compared to before, women are seen as more independent and stronger right now in the society, and they are partaking a lot of more significant roles. But in terms of studies, I believe that women should still be given the opportunity to be decision makers, especially in the health industry. I've read this one article by the United Nations on the in terms of women as decision makers in the health sector, and I think it has quite of a small percentage. So I believe that we should at least improve on that, because women are naturally caring, they're naturally compassionate, so it affects
mm.
their decision making. So I think that it would be good to have women placed in these kinds of significant roles in the society.
So, what about some criticism from the opposite? Okay, that yeah, definitely, women is more compassionate,
Mhm.
and more like understanding probably, but they tend to contest that in the highest position, you need to be very decisive. very strong, and they probably be afraid of that softened side of women would be like a disadvantage on decision making process. Would you have any like contest to this argument?
Well, women are naturally compassionate and nurturing, and therefore they are very diplomatic. And I think being rational and thinking about the right decisions that should be put on the table can be learned through, you know, through scientific processes or academe. So I don't think it would really affect the decision making of women when they are to be given the position, the
Mm-hmm.
right position.
Mm-hmm. And also, especially in Asia, we rarely have, like the leader of army as a woman. Would you think it's just about time that we
I
going
believe
to
so.
have
It's
a
just
leader
about
as a
time.
woman?
It's
Mm.
about time. Actually, before it's already should be a time that women should be given the significant roles in the society.
Mm-hmm. 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 I mean, would they? I mean, especially in army, I think I would love to see like the
Hmm.
general ladies, heads of the army. It would be really nice, and it's quite challenging for the opposite as well to like to imagine that they come because they would have to.
It's a change in history. It's a change in the societal perspective if that happens.
Yeah,
Honestly, I wanted to train as a reservist before prior to the pandemic. I
yeah.
wanted to do military training because it instills discipline in a person.
Mm.
So, well, hopefully after the pandemic, I'd be able to do that. And it's sort of a way also, or a sign to show how patriotic you are for your country.
Okay. So also we talk. You mentioned a lot of something a lot of relate to the Olympics. I knew because it's such a pride. Okay, it's a great pride of Philippines. I also glad indeed because you already won the history first gold ever by Hilly
Okay.
Dean. He asked right. She a weightlifter. Uh-huh. And I heard some of her story. Oh, it's so inspirational. So
It's very
according to
possible.
yeah, according to the sport success of Philippines lately, would you think that Philippines should like encourage like the youth to get involved in more the sport? I mean, not only in basketball or some specific sport, but like throughout.
Well, actually, the win of the Filipino athletes in the recent Olympics has pushed the government to improve and support the sports industry in our country. And I believe that the legislators of our country are doing its best effort to recognize them and to be able to at least build or improve the facilities that we have here to cater those passionate individuals, especially the youth who want to engage to sports because it's also a way to recognize our country.
Mm-hmm. And the sport that Philippine won is just I think it's represent like the value, the change in value of the society lately because Philippine won silver for boxing, women boxing, and the first goal
Boxing.
from women weightlifting. So I mean,
And yes, the
I
first
got
gold
goosebumps.
that was taken home. I know the first gold that was taken home in the Olympics was by a woman, and also Filipino woman, the boxer, who
Yeah.
also won a gold medal for the boxing sport, and that's why
Mm,
it's really I almost honestly cried when I read that news and heard Heidelin's story of success. So I
yeah.
hope that it does not just inspire the youth, but all the women in the world as well.
That's right.
It's,
It's
it's really
the latest Olympic success of Philippines. You know, um, very it can tell distinctively about Filipina, I think, because Philippines got four Miss Universe, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and also garner, so many crown, and that's from ladies, okay, and the first gold of Olympic also from ladies, and the first silver boxing also from ladies. So I mean, it's quite, like Philippines probably is the land of ladies.
That's true. A lot of Filipinas really do excel
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
in
Very
international
strong.
different
Yeah, very strong.
industries.
Yeah.
And I hope that by the time that, the Miss Grand International pageant comes in December in Thailand, we get
Yes.
our first golden crown. So it's a lot of history to make in
Why
the
not?
Philippines, for Filipinas. And
Why
it's
not?
extra overwhelming, especially to win battles over a battle amid
Mm.
this pandemic.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
that's why not, right?
Yeah, why not? I think you can. I mean, I think Philippine can. Okay, so probably I mean, why don't Sam probably, okay, Sam Panino, okay,
Mhm.
probably she can add a little bit more spice in case, okay, in case if she going to win, like to make a tornado turn or like to make several turn. That's
Oh
some
yes,
artists can do.
she is definitely preparing for it. And I strongly believe in her. She's a really good friend of mine. So, as what I told you earlier, I'm excited to go to Thailand to watch her
Yes,
live. So, I
yes.
haven't been to Thailand. That's why I'm
Uh-huh.
also extra exhilarated to travel. Well, hopefully, the situation by that time is better compared to now
I'm
as
sure.
we get
I'm sure
vaccinated.
that I'm sure that if all of you come to Thailand for watching live MGI, I think media and a lot of fans would flock you. Would flock all of you.
Well,
Quite
thank
several.
you.
Yeah, quite
I'll
several
be there as a supporter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're beautiful, okay? And that should I think that would be, some Filipina queens also watch Sam live. So
Mhm.
I could expect, media flock all of you. Uh-huh.
Well, thank
And
you. And
yeah.
I'm so excited to see you, Ko.
Oh yes, you will, you will. Okay. I probably
Definitely.
I probably waiting for you at the airport gate, okay?
Oh, thank you
Yeah, I
so
know.
much. Getting more excited. Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Yes, that's right, that's right. So about the food, so can you like promote some Philippines food to Thai?
Well, my favorite Filipino dish, it's called kare-kare. So it's made with peanut butter and beef and some vegetables. So it's my staple dish. It's an original. My grandmother has her own recipe of it. I just actually had it yesterday, and we usually have it in uh, special occasions.
Mm,
And for
mm,
desserts, I would say those sticky rice. I'm not sure if it's also popular in Thailand. The sticky
mm.
rice that's well, we have it here, mango sticky rice. So it's one of my favorite Filipino classic desserts. And also the turon.
Oh,
Turon is a banana that's wrapped in it's deep fried and
mm.
it's yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I know. Banana fritter, is it?
Yeah, banana fritter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those
And
are my
happy the
favorite.
honey, is it? They always
Yes,
have honey.
yes.
Okay. Right, right. And
Even
this
in
comment from
Thailand.
Oh yes, they also have in Thailand, but if actually most of Thai here always have sticky mango rice, and we rarely have like banana fritter. Honestly, but it's quite popular in Thai restaurant overseas. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But in here we tend to have like a banana. a boiled banana in a soup, in a Swedish soup. If you come, I will, get you try. It's very sweet and it's very nice. It's very Thai traditional, very Thai traditional.
I'm very excited to try Thai dishes. Actually, Thai dishes are generally healthy because they're mostly vegetables, right? So
Yeah.
before, when I tried to switch from uh, being a meat eater to a vegetarian, and I tried to be a vegan, but it's not really sustainable here. It's hard to make your own food and get food that's really nutritious for your body. So actually, that was about a year and a half, but I wasn't able to sustain it. But I look into Thai dishes. I make pad Thai with no meat before I try to make. So, well, not really. Well, it's good enough, I guess. But
So,
yes, generally, Thai dishes are healthy.
yep, yep. So, tell me a little bit. What is inspiration that you turn, like, vegan, even though it's not sustainable, or actually you go a little bit greener? What is your
A
inspiration?
little bit greener. It's more on the plant-based because it started when I saw this show on Netflix. I forgot the name, but it's all about switching to plant-based diet. But basically, I wanted to live a healthier lifestyle and lose some weight. That's why I tried to veer away from eating meat, and it worked so well for me. I my digestive behavior became or improved
Mm-hmm.
drastically, and I enjoyed eating vegetables. And contrary to the public's perception of it being a hard, sustainable diet lifestyle, it
Mm-hmm.
was actually cheaper for me because all I get from the groceries are vegetables, no meat.
Mm-hmm. And Pat, if you have time, please go watch some video in my page, okay? Because
Yes, I will
I did.
definitely.
Yes, I did couple of I think 4 or 5 episodes about plant-based diet.
Ooh.
I collaborated with Dr. Nok Shalida, health coach of Miss Earth Thailand 2021, and she a very strong advocate of diet. I mean plant-based diets. Okay, so in each episode, especially the first one, we go through very thoroughly about why
Mhm,
should we have plant-based diet and what kind of benefits should our body gain
mhm,
from consuming green. And also we can help save the earth as well if we go green.
that's
So
true.
I mean, I also start, like, to have some meal in a week, sort of plant-based diet. But I'm not that, extreme,
Completely
like
changed,
to have
yes.
every meal. I just couldn't. Okay, but I'm just starting. But I think it's good idea. If you have time, you just
Yes,
go through.
actually, we could do some collaborations together. I'm also actually thinking of going back to that type of diet, or at least have it like 6 or 5 times a week
Yeah,
of that diet, and have
yeah,
like those weekend days as cheat days where you eat a balanced
yeah,
meal with meat. It's
yeah.
really hard to transition from a normal diet to a plant-based diet. I've experienced that, especially during the beginning. So what I did before, I eliminated beef and pork first because
Mm-hmm.
pork dishes are very well loved in our country, the Philippines, especially lechon. So
Mm-hmm.
if Thai people know about lechon, it's really hard to shift from that kind of meal to plant-based diet. So what I did, I eliminated some kinds of meat first, and I went to kind of sort of pescatarian, from
Mm-hmm.
chicken to just eating fish, and then eventually switching into eating all vegetables, and eventually trying also to become vegan by thinking of dairy substitutes and milk and cheese substitutes. So we have those kinds of ingredients that we can buy in certain groceries here in the Philippines, but again, they are very limited. But I'm happy because that kind of trend is also becoming popular already here in the Philippines because
Yes, true.
the plant-based diet has only been popular in other countries, especially the US. They're the ones
Mm,
who's, usually they have this gluten-free uh, food or something, but in the Philippines it's not so. But right now, I think people realize that during this, being at home, they have been creative in terms of preparing their dishes and have
yes,
realized that
yes,
nutrition is very important. So
yes,
it's a
that's
good
right.
also it's a good advocacy and good point to promote nutrition and food security. It's one of the problems that we encounter in our country. There's a prevalence in malnutrition and
Mm.
undernutrition, especially in children.
That's right. So I will give you, Facebook of the Dr. Nok Chalida, okay? Because she always like post her like her menu, plant based every day. So you can follow her,
Yes,
and
I will definitely after our
yes,
after
I
our
will let
chat
her
here.
know. I will let her know that she got very stunning Filipina queen to follow you because she very
Wow. Okay. Okay. I'll definitely do
into
that.
diet is plant-based diets. I mean, she very knowledgeable, okay, because
Mhm.
she got a degree, doctorate degree in anti-aging, especially for food intake that
Mhm.
prevent some information. So she sort of very expert, okay, expert on food intake and what kind of consuming should we have to prevent aging and also to extend our long living.
Mhm.
So you got the right person, me,
I
okay.
know. Yeah, I love this chat of us from asking the best food that our country offers to transitioning it to a plant-based, promoting how important nutrition is in our countries. I love it. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, you will. So, Pat, I saw quite, lately, about Binibini. That's quite a lot of photo shoot with all queen and second runner up, and also a lot of fans would love to know about. I mean, your activity. Would you have some activity to get involved with, all crowd winner and second with the runner up as well.
Well, Binibini Pilipinas told me that they'll get in touch with me if there are activities that they would get me involved in. But I think as of now, since we are in strict lockdown and quarantine, there are no upcoming activities yet, especially in terms of public gatherings. It's quite
Mm,
frustrating also and really sad that we are in this situation again after like more than a year of experiencing this pandemic. So, but
mm,
hopefully, of course, I'd update everyone. I'll update you and I'll update you personally, and
yep.
I'll show it on my social media pages if there are activities that Binibini Pilipinas would get me involved in. But
Yes.
of course, I would want to let everyone know that I'll still be active as much as I can in
Mm-hmm.
social media. So
Yep.
and try to maximize that platform in terms of information dissemination, sharing the positive energy, sharing the positive vibe. I think in those small ways we could help, especially those people who are experiencing anxiety.
I mean, people just ask because they wouldn't love you to go in oblivion. Okay,
Mhm.
people just still would love to see you around and know your move, sort of. So it's pretty good if you always update on your social media. And for comment, it's from Sweden. Okay, from Sweden. The crowd is your
Wow,
babe.
you're really bully.
Oh, I get that. Oh, I think it's like a sort of how can I say probably some blessing. You might go back. You might come back. Compete pageantry next year. I think.
I hope everyone who's watching it right now would support me if ever I will.
Yes,
So
yes. And also from Sweden as well. You are beautiful, Patricia. I'm your big fan. Wow.
oh, thank
Oh
you so
man,
much.
you
Thank
got a fans
you.
in Sweden. Oh wow. That's very far. Okay. And also, this one, she's so smart. Oh, I know. You're so smart.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
And this lady, I think Filipina. Yes, yes, she Filipina. Mayori and Olin. I love your smile. Ate. Oh, what is
Oh, thank
ate?
you.
What
Ate
is
is a term for an older sister.
older sister? What about elder? What about younger sister?
We just call it by we call it bonso if it's your sibling, but ate is a very general term, so we use it if we address someone who is older than us, even if she is not a sibling. So it's some sort of respect. It actually shows the Filipino culture of having respect to the elders because we use these terms like ate, kuya. Even if we're strangers, we don't normally call people on the first name basis, even in the
Uh-huh.
workplace also. We address it
Yes,
by Miss or Sir in general. We just don't address people by their first name.
yes, probably the same as Thailand, as what
Hmm.
happened. What is this in Thailand? Like ate probably like P. P is like when you mention to
Me,
someone who older than you. Yeah,
older than
P.
you.
Yes, older than me.
Well,
Uh
that's
huh.
very nice. Thai and Philippine culture are very similar.
Yep.
Before, oh no, that was not in Thailand. That was, sorry, I'm mistaken. That was in Indonesia.
No, no, no. Okay, this
But
season
yes,
three of
Southeast Asian countries, since they're neighboring countries.
yep, and this
Yes, it's
comment
season 3 of lockdown.
right. And what is this? Sinigang adobo. What is it?
Those are two famous Filipino dishes.
All
Sinigang
right.
is a dish, a soup. It's a soup, tamarind-based soup usually. And adobo is made with, it's very flavorful. So it's made with usually soy sauce. So that's
Mm,
the main flavoring in that.
mm.
I
Okay.
think there was a comment earlier that showed
Uh-huh.
up when we were talking about the Filipino dishes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Probably. Oh, thank you indeed. That's showing us that a lot of fans keep listening to what we're talking. That's good. That's very good. And this one, Mayori as well. I will support you, Ate.
Yay! Thank you, Anne.
And also this from me. I think we love you, Ko. Please support admin Ko. Virtual hug to you, Ko. Oh, thank you very much, Shane.
Aw, you have so much
Oh, so
fans,
sweet.
people.
Thank you. Is that famous? Oh, if it
Thank
is,
you
I
for
will.
having me in your show. I get to have more admirers and supporters because of you.
Yes, yes, yes. I love you too. I love that you visit me, and I wouldn't mind to have you more and more. You're so
Mm-hmm.
sweet. You're so sweet indeed.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
thank
And
you.
yes, and a lot of people just would love to know. Aside from pageantry and working in the public office, what else do you do during your free time? Aside from spending time with your family, what is your recreation?
I work out at home. I do my home workouts. I think that's something that we all learned. I read books. I don't watch Netflix or TV shows that much. I only watch news. I just read books and spend time with my nephew that's 6 months old. So that's my pastime. It's really fun to have a baby at home. It keeps the vibe very light and happy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
also try to. My sister bakes. She bakes a lot, and she also cooks. Me, I try to learn how to cook and bake because I really don't know how that much. I just knew how during pandemic when I tried to prepare for my own vegetarian food.
Mm. And as we all know, that you, Pat, is very intelligent ladies, and you sort of, always seek higher education. And I would love to get your opinion. Would the reading be significant in people life, or significant for enhancing the quality of the youth?
Well, definitely yes. I also have my 11-year-old niece here with me, the daughter of my sister, and I encourage her to read more because it helps you improve your vocabulary, and it's also my source of inspiration. So the usual books that I read are more of self-help books. I don't read much about fiction. Actually, I have this right now, right with me
Mm-hmm.
here. This
Mm-hmm.
is the book that I'm reading now. So it's by Angela Duckworth. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Grit. So it's about perseverance and passion and having your ability to have this determination in reaching your goals. So that
Mm-hmm.
keeps me centered. And if I have like pastime, at least I actually make sure to read at least 5 pages before I go to sleep. I also
Mm-hmm.
like spiritual books because I'm a very strong believer. I'm a Catholic, so I like reading books that are related to my religion because it helps
Mm-hmm.
me be grounded. So that's where I get my values, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I remind myself to always do good, to help the community, to pray, to accept things that we cannot change. So
So,
yeah,
would you consider yourself pious? Would you
sorry.
consider yourself pious?
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that.
I mean, would you consider yourself pious? I mean,
Pious?
pious, like devout or religious.
Oh yes, I am very religious. My family is very religious also. So actually, even the start of the pandemic, we still try to attend
Mass.
Sunday mass. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we do it online also, especially now that we're on lockdown. But as much as possible, we try to do it in the church also. So,
Mm-hmm. Right, that's good. That's good. It's keep you ground, okay? When you got like, I do believe that when you got a faith in your heart, I mean,
mhm.
we we tend to understand who we are, you know,
We tend to
and
understand people also
be
around
humble.
us.
Yes, yes, and be humble and
Hmm.
be compassionate, loving each other and helping each other. I think in a good aspect of faith. Okay, I also do believe, even though I'm Buddhist, but I'm religious too. I mean, I do agree with you that it keep us ground. When we go back, like, to a very traditional.
No matter what religion, I think we are,
Yeah.
serving one God. Buddhist. I also keep on. I also like. I also like the some beliefs that Buddhists believe in, like those lines, that inspiration
Um,
that are coming from your religion, the mindset. I
mm,
also
yep,
adapt to that.
yep,
It gives
yep.
you a
That's correct.
different the different feeling of peace and
Yep, that's
serenity
right.
and contentment in life.
Yes,
So
yes, because Buddhist also like a philosophy. Uh-huh.
yes,
So teach people that to understand life, understand the best of yourself, how you utilize the best of you, and how to like understand what happens around you. Don't get affected by the negativity. Uh-huh. So I mean, everyone can learn. Everyone
mm,
can adopt. It's
I
it can
believe
be
in.
like a philosophy.
I, I also really strongly believe in Buddhist teaching. So it talks about common morality of
Yep.
life.
Yep. Thank
So,
you. Thank you indeed. Thank you, Pat. And Pat, what advice that would you give to someone that rarely read, but we all knew that reading would, would encourage people to be more productive in terms of thinking. What advice do you give to them if they're really boring, of reading or hardly read?
It take it one page at a time. You don't have to finish a book in 3 days. I cannot even do that. So
Mm,
my reading habits, I won't say that it's the best because I read sometimes two books at a time because I
mm,
easily get bored also. My attention span is very low. So what I do, I just make sure to make it part of my daily routine and make it as a habit. Because if you do something like at the, say for example, at the same time, or a hobby that you can do at the same time of the day, it's gonna be automatic in you. So you wouldn't really put much effort in doing it. So if, before going to bed, just before saying a prayer, read 2 pages at a time, and you'll finish a book no matter what.
yeah, yeah. It's
Even if
not
it
too
takes
many
you a
though.
year, that's not bad. I mean, no one will judge you for that.
Yeah, that's right. It's not too heavy. Just two pages
Mhm.
at a time. It's
2 pages.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a very good advice from like someone really I would like to say academic, but I just feel that you sort of very into studying. You very someone who interesting to enhance yourself all the time. I just feel that way. Uh-huh. So it's a great advice from a very intelligent lady. And also, Pat, do you believe that education would pull someone out of difficulty or hardship?
Yes, I'm also an advocate for education. So it's just sad right now that the education is being sacrificed, especially our transition from traditional face-to-face learning and online learning. I think by this time, it's people appreciate traditional face-to-face learning more than ever because no one was prepared to shift from traditional face-to-face learning to online learning. And to answer your question, yes, education is always important to for you to be able to succeed in life
Hmm.
because that's where you will learn. That's where you will hone your skills of being passionate, being determined, and that's where you can also discover yourself.
Hmm.
So it's not really just about uh, learning those things that you can read on books or things that you can learn in the classroom, but the attitude that you will learn along the way, the discipline
Hmm.
that you'll be able to instill yourself, the
Mm-hmm.
interaction that you will have with your classmates, with your teachers. That's where you will also learn respect and a lot of things.
Hmm.
So well, I believe right now a lot of people see the value of education, parents and students as well. And I
Hmm.
just hope that the youth will continue to appreciate it
Hmm.
despite being in a very difficult situation right now. So, what's important now is actually not just the students, but also the parents themselves to be able
Mm-hmm.
to encourage their kids. They play a big role right now, especially in online learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I saw some news recently that quite a lot several public figure like in the beauty pageant, a former queen or some actor I think got a degree at 30 years old. So
Mhm.
um, would you um, would you think that the age has something to do with the education?
No, I believe that age doesn't matter. It's never too late to pursue the profession that you would want to pursue in life. Well, just to share with you, I just actually recently applied for an online certification course on global mental health that is
Mm-hmm.
to increase my knowledge about the stigma and how mental health affects not just my country but the entire world as well. So it's never too late to take advantage of education to gain knowledge because life is, a continuous learning process, and we would always have room for improvement. It's good because we have something to share to people to the people around us, our friends, our families, and even those who are looking up to us. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, I agree. I mean, some, not all the people will be ready to like to study according to the normal course. Some probably have to work, at the early age. So when one's ready, you can catch up studying later
mhm,
on, and get a degree. So time, it doesn't matter, age doesn't matter. So I really admire people that who never leave education. So
mhm.
give applause to
Thank
to
you.
cover to a couple of figures that on the news. I don't remember their names, but there's some queen and some actor, I think.
Mhm.
And you mentioned about mental illness. Would you concern that a mental illness would probably like to be you know the highest, not the highest, actually the most illness, the most deadly illness that could cost people life in the near future?
Well, with the increased number of people who are committing suicide, especially amid this pandemic, I think it can be classified as a shadow pandemic because we do not know that people are experiencing this way. That's why I strongly advocate for it to let people know that it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to seek for help, and also to improve the social services around the globe and be more aware that we need to focus on this mental health stability, the mental well-being of an individual. We're not just talking about those people who are diagnosed of mental illness, but of everyone as well, especially our leaders or those people who have this significant role in our society. Mental well-being and being grounded is important, especially in making right and accurate economic decisions.
Mm,
So, especially for our health workers too, we have to keep in mind that they're already burnt out physically, so we don't know how their physical, mental well being state is. Because, of course, they're facing those people who are experiencing COVID, who are experiencing breakdown. Because I personally have a close relative who experienced COVID and she had like anxiety. So I was talking to her while she was in the hospital and I feel her burden. So much more our frontliners who are facing thousands and hundreds of people who are experiencing this way. So I
mm,
believe that it's important to give attention to this, to increase the public services, the budget that we allocate or we should
mm,
allocate for this to address this worldwide.
mm. Mm. So according to the example you raised, so I think probably you might really understandable of Mr. Nawat before, because
Mm-hmm.
he got a COVID-19 with the Delta variant, which is
Yes,
a
I
very
hope.
very hazardous. And also he
Yes.
was ejected from the hospital even though he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
fully recover. So some people just question about his mental state at the time because he complained a lot. But according to you, what you just said, you fully understand his reaction at the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because I fully understand his reaction at that time because I also experienced being tested positive of COVID and I was asymptomatic that time. But
Mm,
it brought anxiety to me. So, what
mm,
more to those people who were brought to the hospital who were fighting for their lives? They don't know what will happen to them if they're going to get out of their situation. So,
mm,
I think that we should not judge them especially after undergoing that kind of
mm,
um, situation. I think
mm,
people should be more understanding in that
mm,
aspect also because it's
mm,
hard. It's really hard.
mm, mm, mm. So I probably, translate a little bit because Mr. Nawat always watching my program. Okay, he
Uh,
probably appreciate your understanding. Okay คืออย่างนี้นะคะก็ถามคุณแพทเนาะคุณแพทบอกว่าเนี่ยเขาอะเข้าใจมากเลยเรื่อง mental illness เนี่ยนะก็คือว่าบางทีอะคนเรานะมันเครียดแล้วก็หลายๆอย่างเนี่ยประเดประดังมาเนี่ยเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องมีแต่ความให้กำลังใจกันและโดยเฉพาะญาติเขาในตอนที่เขาเป็นญาติเขาเป็นโควิดนะคะเขาก็จะเห็นเลยว่าญาติเขาแบบมีอาการที่แบบกระวนกระวายแล้วก็แบบอยู่ไม่สุขแล้วก็เครียดลุกลี้ลุกลนตลอดเวลาคือแพทก็ไปปลอบใจเนาะให้กำลังใจเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยแพทก็เลยบอกว่าเนี่ยเขาแพทเข้าใจมากๆเลยคนแบบเวลาป่วยเนี่ยเพราะว่าอย่างป่วยโควิดเนี่ยก็คือมันถึงชีวิตนะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเราต้องมีให้กำลังใจก็เลยถามแพทว่าเอาอย่างนี้แพทเข้าใจสิ่งที่คุณนวัดออกมาไลฟ์ไหมอะไรอย่างเงี้ยถือแบบบางทีใช่ไหมคือตอนนั้นที่อยู่ในโรงพยาบาลแล้วก็ไลฟ์แล้วก็ด้วยอาการที่แบบบางทีถือของหรืออะไรอย่างเงี้ยเนาะแกก็บอกว่าแพทก็เลยบอกเข้าใจเต็มที่เลยเข้าใจมากๆเพราะว่าคือถ้าใครไม่อยู่ในบริบทนั้นเนี่ยไม่มีทางเข้าใจนะคือถ้าสมมุติว่ายังป่วยอยู่แล้วก็ไม่ได้หายเต็มที่อย่างเงี้ยแน่นอนมันต้องมีความเครียดสะสมอยู่แล้วเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องมีความเข้าใจเขาไม่ได้มองว่าเป็นเรื่องอะไรที่ผิดแผกเพราะว่าถ้าใครไปอยู่สถานการณ์นั้นน่ะจะรู้เพราะว่าแพทเขาเห็นว่าญาติเขาอะแบบเป็นโควิดไงเป็นโควิดแล้วคราวนี้เขาทราบเลยอะว่าเป็นยังไงเพราะนั้นเนี่ยแพทบอกแพทเข้าใจคุณนวัด100%นะคะเข้าใจมากๆแล้วก็แพทก็บอกว่าเนี่ยไม่อยากให้ใครนะมาตัดสินนะว่าไม่อยากให้ไปตัดสินว่าคนนี้เป็นอย่างนั้นไม่ปกติคนนี้ไม่อะไรอย่างเงี้ยคือคุณไม่ได้ไปอยู่ตรงนั้นคุณไม่มีทางเข้าใจคือแพทก็บอกนะคะก็บอกว่าก็ให้กำลังใจกันนะเพราะว่า mental illness เนี่ยมันสำคัญนะก็คือแบบเราไม่มีทางรู้ไงเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเขาสนับสนุนว่าถ้าใครมีอาการเครียดอะไรเนี่ยให้พยายามติดต่อเนาะศูนย์หรือขอความช่วยเหลือเนาะอย่าอยู่คนเดียวอย่าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอย่าเก็บไว้ที่ตัวเนาะอันนี้คือแพทบอกนะคะก็ยังไงเนาะแพทเขาน่ารักมากเลยนะแพทก็ฝากคำดีๆถึงคุณนวัดนะบอกว่าแพทเข้าใจคุณนวัดนะครับใน reaction ที่ผ่านมาเนาะPat, I already translate and told Kunawat that you fully understand about his reaction previously during his hospitalization.
mhm.
It's because it's very hard to to
That's very
struggle.
hard.
Yes, yes, it's very hard to to fighting with your life. Okay,
Mhm.
so you fully understand. Okay, so Pat, do you have any last word, any kind word to all the fans, and probably also for my program and myself?
First, well, I would like just to thank you for having me. This is actually my first interview after or since the coronation night, and I'm very happy to have it with you. And thank you so much for all those people who watched Ko's show. And I hope everyone learned a lot and got some inspiration. And I just want to um, let everyone know that I hope that you will stay safe and get vaccinated already. So
Yes.
that's really important. So I'm really encouraging each and every one of you just keep going no matter what happens or no matter how hard life may be right now because you guys are in lockdown. We in the Philippines are also in lockdown. We are going to get through this and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to continue to pray, to draw some inspiration, to inspire people and work hard and think positively. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope you all
And
enjoyed it.
yes, definitely. People enjoy. But do you have like any special message to Thai fans?
For all the Thai fans, thank you so much for supporting me. And I hope that if ever I will be joining again or getting my last chance because of my age, I hope that you will all support me. Mahal ko kayo, and I hope to meet some of you in Thailand soon when I visit during the Miss Grand International pageant.
Wow, wow, wow. I look forward to that day,
Yes,
Pat.
really looking
So
forward to that.
excited. So excited. And Pat, very last, would you mind to shout out to all the fans worldwide that following you to to share some of the attention to my Facebook page
Oh,
for
for
Q1.
all the fans who are following me, please follow Coke's my Facebook page, and also Instagram page that's KOPHANASA, and on Twitter also KP1 Worldwide, on YouTube KP1 Worldwide also. Please, I'll show your Instagram and Facebook page on my IG story later, and I will definitely follow you and check out those plant-based meal and share it to everyone.
Oh, I love you badly, Pat. You're so
I
nice.
love you too.
Oh, you're so nice indeed. And all the fans worldwide. I feel so privileged to have Pat tonight. She my friend and she very lovely. Very lovely,
It's
okay?
so fun to
Because
talk to you.
yes, because very first interview that I made was with Pat, okay, and she very kind because at the time I'm very tiny, no one know me, okay, but Pat just wouldn't mind to give me interview, so I'm so grateful indeed. You just one part of my journey, okay. I'm so
Oh, thank
grateful indeed.
you. You
Pat
are
is
as
so
well
nice.
too.
Okay, thank
I'll
you
see
so
you
much.
soon. That's in a
And
few months.
pardon?
I'll see you soon. That's in a few months if it's gonna push through on
Yes,
December.
yes. Pat, I'm
Hugs,
waiting.
virtual
I'm
hugs.
waiting for you with open arm. Okay.
Ah, thank you
Love,
so. Love.
okay, for all the fans worldwide, from Thailand, from Philippines, from Asia to Latin, to Sweden, to UK, okay,
Wow.
to
Wow.
India and Bangladesh as well. And I would love to thank you of your support of my program and especially to support my guest. I mean, Pat. She deserve to be support all through, okay, not only in the pageantry, okay, even other endeavor she going to take, please support her because
Thank you so
she's
much.
such an excellent and fantastic lady indeed, such a highly qualified lady,
Oh,
uh-huh.
thank you.
Indeed. And I would love to thank you, all of you, for joining and watching all through the program with me and with Patrizia Garcia, face of Binibini 2021 and top 10 Binibini 2021. And please follow her. And also, please follow me, KP1 Worldwide, for the next interview. There will be some other interesting guests following following this program as well for the next day. And I wish you having all a good night, okay, and stay safe and get vaccinated if you have a chance, according to Pat, okay. According to me as well. At
Yes.
least you immune, okay, even though some part, okay, even though partly we still immune, okay, don't
Mhm.
get yourself exposed to the virus, it's so
Yes.
deadly,
I hope you
we
stay
never
safe
know.
also.
Yeah, we never know, okay, so have a good
Yeah.
night for all the
Have a good
fans.
night, Pocahontas.
I love you
Thank
all, okay,
you.
so
Bye.
good night ครับ salamat po gracias good night ครับสวัสดีค
Thank
รับ
you.